You're watching KDKA TV News at 6 in high definition.
Hoarders are people who literally bury themselves alive under piles of things they truly believe they can't live without, even if the conditions they create in their homes are hazardous or unsanitary. Well, the pictures are dramatic. People living amongst piles and piles and piles of things.
And it happens in a lot of homes. And Mary Rob Jackson is here to tell us about one story here in our area.
We all have stuff that's important to us for reasons known only to us. But when it comes to hoarders, doctors who work with them say it's important to know that these folks are not doing this on purpose. They're not doing it because they're lazy. They're doing it because they have a disorder. They're extremely anxious and they need help.
Do you know when you bought this, Stan?
For 20 years, no one was invited to Stan Enkelman's Morningside home, including family.
We argued about it, and I really loved her. She was very important to me.
Patty Engelman, Stan's wife of more than 25 years, became unable to part with things, anything.
And my wife was a sucker for all these ads that come from like Macy's and Penny's. And the other thing she just loved was the dollar stores.
Beginning in the 1980s, Patty's shopping and hoarding spiraled out of control. So did their lives.
People argue about the kids, they argue about money, we argued about junk, about stuff.
Room by room was buried under stuff, much of it still in wrappers, price tags attached.
And I know people had said, well, leave her, move out, get away from. Maybe for some people that was an option. It wasn't an option for me.
When Patty died last November of a heart attack, Stan's daughter Carla came to her stepmother's funeral from Missouri. She was stunned by what she found and told her dad there were TV shows about the way he was living.
When she was here, it was, Ted, you got to do something.
People get stuck in life. And our job as professional organizers is to help people get unstuck.
I think this is quite expired.
How old is it?
I think it's about 10 years old.
Vicki DeLaquila has been working with Stan to get his home back under control since December.
Stan's home was on a level 5, meaning it was in a level where it could be very dangerous for a person to live here.
The team of 2 organizers, a hauler and a cleaner, they've removed more than 750 bags of trash and donations. These before and after photos show just how much stuff they had to tackle. The kitchen, the front hall, the living room. Stan even rediscovered a room.
The sunroom, I have no idea when she filled that up.
The door to the sunroom had disappeared behind piles of clothes.
I forgot it was there. You couldn't get to it.
It's something that we take time doing, is developing a trusted relationship to go through the things.
Hoarders' brains are different, and that may be related to their difficulty in prioritizing.
At Allegheny General Hospital, Dr. Michael Franzen says researchers have just begun to investigate the mostly uncharted territory of hoarding, which affects an estimated 2 to 3% of the population.
Hoarding is taking and collecting things that you don't need, to the extent that it interferes with your functioning.
Hoarding can affect anyone, regardless of age, sex, or economic status. It's considered part of anxiety disorders or a variant of obsessive-compulsive disorder. The Mayo Clinic offers this list of risk factors for hoarding. It usually starts in early adolescence, around age 12. You are most likely to hoard if a family member is a compulsive hoarder. Hoarding can be triggered by a stressful event, the death of a loved one, divorce, or eviction. Loners are more likely to hoard. And finally, hoarders are often perfectionists. Decisions cause them stress, so they avoid making decisions and keep everything.
The piles are going away.
But there is hope.
It is treatable. I mean, we do have combinations of both medications and psychological treatments to help these folks.
Stan can now navigate his stairs with ease. He only wishes he'd figured it out sooner.
If you love someone and if you know what the problem is, you can help them. And that's really, I'm sorry that I didn't know more about it.
Stan told me that he shared his and Patty's story to help anyone who hears it and needs help will get that help. We have a number of resources to provide that support. All you have to do is go to our website at kdka.com and we will link you through. And Stacy and Christine, I know that since we were there, another 135 bags.
Oh, wow. That's amazing.
Went out the door.
Close to 1,000 bags of trash already. Getting close to.
About that.
Yeah, good. Does a person realize they are a hoarder?
I asked that. I said, did Patty know what was going on? Did she have any idea? He said, absolutely not. He would take things to curbside, and he'd come home, and she'd be going through the bags and saying, but we'll need this sometime. One of these days, we'll need this. One
other thing, the professional that's involved, do they just come in and start doing things, or do they work with the person?
Oh, it's very, very sensitive. It's not a matter of getting rid of stuff, as she said. It's an emotional thing. And you really have to work through the entire process. That's why, well, they've been doing this for 6 months. And it's huge. It has been a tremendous accomplishment for all the people working on this project.
Well, you have to
there are
realize
a lot of them out there.
It's a psychological disorder.
It is.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Mary
Rob, thank you so much.
You're
Very fascinating. Thanks.